If I were to describe this film in three words, it would be bizarre yet captivating. What's up, YouTube? This is Red Devilosa from Red Devilosa Reviews. Before we get started, if you like reviews and opinions on movies, comics, TV shows, and video games, you can support my channel by liking the video and subscribe for more of that content. It's the 50th anniversary for A Clockwork Orange, directed, written, and produced by the great and legendary Stanley Kubrick in 1971. Based on the novel of the same name, written by Anthony Burgess in 1962. At the time of its release, it was one of the most controversial films of all time, which leads into my warning. This film does contain torture, violence, and sexual assault. Although I will show other clips from other TV shows or movies that references the film, I believe it's still important to mention this. Right, with that out of the way, even with the controversy, the film was nominated for 4 Oscars, which includes Best Picture, Director, Adapted Screenplay, and Editing. The film stars Malcolm McDowell as Alex DeLarge, a teenager that is a leader of a gang in this dystopian world where the society doesn't seem to be up to the standard way we would believe it to be. His gang goes around in the night as they commit acts of ultra-violence, rape, and just causing chaos wherever they go. The film in just the opening 20 minutes can be disturbing enough for the audience. With the imagery and the dark themes that the movie shows, it can be off-putting to some. Stanley Kubrick and his wife received multiple death threats for this film. Under Kubrick's orders, the film was pulled in the UK as well. A lot of this comes down to Alex, who is pretty much a villain from the start, and even though he commits horrible things, you can't help but to feel bad for him a little once he goes to jail and he does aversion therapy. More on that in a bit. Overall, the film has an enthralling visual style, a social commentary on society and mental health. The arc that Alex goes through is enough to allow me to call this a disturbing, bizarre, yet captivating piece of cinema. The actors in the movie had a sort of slang, or language they would do. This comes from the book, although I haven't read it personally. It is a fictional language called Nadsat, where it combines the slang of Russian and English to make its own thing.
Hi there.
Well, hello.
You're here. He have arrived. Hooray! Welly, well.
I wouldn't say it was difficult to understand, as this was a criticism when the film came out. I was able to understand what was being said through the use of the actors using body language and facial expressions to make sense of the dialogue. Malcolm McDowell gave a brilliant performance as Alex. He was able to show many emotions through the course of the film: glee, fear, grief, anger. Overall, a great range for the actor. He improvised in the film, such as the costume designs for his character. The
Singing in the rain
was completely thought up by Malcolm on the spot, and Kubrick loved that decision so much that he went home to acquire the rights to the song. Although Gene Kelly, the actor who sang the song in 1952, was not a fan of that decision, and apparently Kelly wasn't even paid for the rights to the song, so I can understand his issues. As for Malcolm, I'm a bit shocked that he wasn't even nominated for Best Actor. Let me quickly talk about the music. I really enjoyed how there was a mix of synths and classical music with Beethoven. Also, it sounds very similar to other Kubrick films like 2001: A Space Odyssey before it, and The Shining that came after. There is a social commentary on the human condition, the belief that environment is what shapes the behavior, actions, and perceptions in life. You can see this with Alex. Yes, he is a messed up individual, but the environment is what shaped him into the way that he is. There is also the theme of free will, whether it exists, and the morality of giving people a choice. Also, you see how the government shapes prisoners to be the way that they want, which gives an interesting conflict whether the treatment of bad people harshly is ethically wrong. Stanley Kubrick is known to have that one scene you remember once you finish watching his films. You have
I'm Spartacus!
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus!
I'm Spartacus.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Here's Johnny.
I'm not talking about the hallucinogenic milk, although it is memorable, with Inglourious Basterds using milk as well. In A Clockwork Orange, you have the Ludovico technique, the turning point of Alex's character, where the doctors would force his eyes open with clamps and have him watch sex and violence that forces him to become sick whenever those things approach him. Unintentionally, they also prevented him from enjoying Beethoven's Ninth Symphony when the music was playing in those scenes. This scene has been recreated many times after this. Another fun fact, Malcolm got anesthetics for his eyes so that they could clamp his eyelids. The doctor that was putting eye drops in his eyes was an actual professional doctor, and he had to apply the eye drops every 15 seconds, otherwise Malcolm would have gone blind. Another trademark of Kubrick is a scene where you wonder, how the fuck did you do that? The scene where Dim drowns Alex for a minute with no camera tricks or anything, just focusing on the drowning, is one of those scenes. There was an oxygen tank in the water that allowed Malcolm to breathe, but this was in a forest, in the middle of winter, in England, and they had to dissolve meat extract to make a brown color, which made it smell, and Kubrick asked for more than 20 takes, so I can't imagine how terrible that must have been. I've mentioned this in my review for The Exorcist, check the card in the corner, how 70s directors had a lot of freedom that we normally don't see anymore. Another cool fact about the film, obviously I'm not going to be able to show the scene, but I will show the Simpsons parody. The threesome scene with Alex and the two girls was sped up at a continuous 28-minute one take. Kubrick's intention was to speed it up because most sex scenes are usually in slow-mo, so he wanted to change it up. Even with the questionable scenes focusing on sensitive topics, a villain protagonist that gets broken and shaped due to the government, and some brutal torture scenes that makes you think about the actors that are doing them. After 50 years, this film continues to be an important piece of Kubrick's legendary career. Last year, it was selected in the National Film Registry as a film that is culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant, and I could say it totally deserves it. Also, David Prowse was in this film. If you don't know who that is, he was the man that was in the Darth Vader suit and the guy who trained Christopher Reeve for his role as Superman. Unfortunately, he passed away last year. Rest in peace to David Prowse.
Goodbye, old friend. May the Force be with you.
I don't know if anyone else picked this up, but throughout the movie, I kept thinking that if this movie had a remake, I could see Evan Peters playing Alex. He looks very similar to Malcolm McDowell, and he is a great actor on top of that. However, I've made my point in the Exorcist video that I believe remakes are pointless and stupid. But that's a video for another day. Let me know what you thought about A Clockwork Orange in the comments down below. Just a quick announcement. College has just started up for me again, and I will try my best to continue videos during the semester. Hopefully you understand, and I appreciate each and every one of you that supports me and my channel. Once again, if you like reviews and opinions on movies, comics, TV shows, and video games, you can support my channel by liking the video, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications for future videos. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Peace.